Hey, what's up, guys? So I wanted to go ahead and jump in here so we can take a look at the matchmaking and then some of the concepts that I'm thinking about doing and going over some things that I've heard other guys talk about. Right now you can see Dorky is in this matchmaking. So you got Dorky, Cray again, AJK, and I don't know if I've had Gandalf in the matchmaking, but definitely seen his name. So let's see where we fall in the ranking. And Kel is pretty high up, so let's see Kel. These Panthers, okay, this is about the biggest account I've seen, 284, so he's already at 105, which I kind of figured that'd be the case. We start seeing guys have reached level 105. Stocky 187, he's hit 105 already. So you can see these guys, STP is now like 7.7 mil, so they're really up there. You got Hank, he's at 105. Apocalypse is at 105. And still below Beta, he's at 105. So 134, he's at 105. Miss Shores is at 104, which I would suspect 105 might be tomorrow. Cloud is at 103. So my guess is if you can hit 103, you can probably compete pretty well against guys or accounts that are 105. You got a male, he's at 103. Gandalf is at 103. Young Swole is at 105. Nick is at 103. Jessley is at 104. Probably will be at 105 tomorrow, that'd be my guess. Buffalo Love is at 103. And Killshot is in here, so Killshot is at 101. Spartacus is at 102. Cray is at 102. Barmat is at 102. Agent Zero, hadn't talked to him in a while, but Agent Zero's here. He's at 101. Beavis is at 102. And so I'm at 101. Dorky is at 100. That's interesting. Mr. AU is at 101. AKJ is at 101. Dark is at 101. And Happy Feet is at 101. B-Hawk 9 is at 102. Duster is at 102. Halcyon is at 101. And Desir is in here. So Desir is at 100. So Scar, that's interesting. Scar is at 102. I wonder if there's a game plan in place to be at 102, if that makes a difference. And Bang is at 100. So you guys can see where my stats are. I've always built wide from the beginning, and my STP is just getting to 6 mil. So this will definitely be a struggle against guys that are 105. My original thought is I'd have to be at 103 to really even try to compete with guys 105, because in the past when I'm like, 2 levels below the guys that have maxed out, then actually have a chance to win. But normally they just blow through everything that I have because their accounts are so huge. So I just kind of wanted to go over the roster real quick, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm trying to do on defense. These are the tunes. Let me do it this way. Okay, so these are the tunes here that I'm looking to take either to Dark Dimension or I use in Cosmic Crucible. So I took a lot of these to 101. Some of these will go to 102. They'll be Crucible. But I think after that, when I start getting to 103, I got to be really selective, and that'll probably lean more towards the tunes that I'm going to take in a Dark Dimension. So you can see here, that's kind of where I stopped. I could probably take up a few more, but I'm not sure yet if it's needed. We'll see from the match tomorrow if some of the CC teams need to go up. So when you look at Crucible, just the main teams, you can see that I've not taken all up, but I've taken quite a bit up. So it may be that I have to take up Superior 6 for them to work. I don't know if we're going to be able to use Tangle Web, but they may have to go up. And it's just taking a look at what the Crucible teams are. This is what I'm keeping an eye on for Dark Dimension 9. So except for Red Hulk and Doom, I think for the most part, because I use these tunes so much, they'll be going up to 105. I'm a little hesitant right now on LDS and Ghost because we'll see what else that bracket can bring. But whether I take Falcon into DD9 or not, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have him at 105 for Cosmic Crucible. This is what I'm looking at for defense. I mean, we got 3 rooms, so my thought is just make all 3 rooms as strong as you can make them. Because if you're at level 100, you're going to have opponents that are higher than level 100. If you're at level 101 like I am, you're going to still have guys that are higher, no matter where you are, especially if you're in the top 5,000. So you're going to be facing guys where your punch-ups are going to be really, really big, and the counters that we had before may or may not work as they used to. So, but as you can see, the idea for room 1, I guess, is pretty obvious because I'm looking to get the ults, Scientist Supreme. We'll just go over her kits as we do it, but you got Scientist Supreme, you got Mephisto, Black Knight, Scroll, and Sam. Let's go to Cap Sam. So off the top, just in his passive, you know, we got another skill character in there, so we're looking at what he can do for Black Knight, and that means some deflects along the way. There's not really much else he's going to do for the entire team other than he's going to get his ult every other turn. And so that could be huge because there's going to be speed up. There's going to be some feel a speed bar there. And the same for Scroll, because I think Scroll, let's go to Scroll. Scroll is 6 turns, so he's still every other turn with his ult. And I'm going to show you guys what this kind of looks like when I tested it in DD7. Because with Mephisto, they're going to get that barrier. But there's some things in the passives that I think make guys have to either come in with a, with a Mephisto of their own, or Odin, or they're going to have to double sack it. And so even with guys that are 105, I'm hoping they will have to double sack this room still. And you guys will see why when you kind of see how the team works together. So you see here, barrier self and all allies for 30%. We know Mephisto gives barrier. I took Scientist Supreme up yesterday, mostly because of this room. And I was thinking, like, she may start coming in handy for things like this. As you can see, she's 3 turns, so she's going to get her ult every turn. And that means offense down, defense down, and slow. And we'll just see what that does, if that does anything or not. But the main thing is she would give them a heal. And so we'll see how that works out. And so I'm just kind of curious to see what will happen with Mephisto getting his ult every other turn. You know, his ult, then his basic, and then back to his ult. So these are things I think that make room 1 a little bit tough. So I got the team loaded in because I've tested it 2 or 3 times just to see which way I'm going to run it. And I think what I'm going to do is keep Mephisto as a raider. But if it looks like the damage will be in there, then I might switch him to striker. And so I don't expect them to be super fast. But the main thing is Science Supreme goes like we expect her to. And then Scroll, we know he would ult right there. That'd be his ult. And then he would do his basic. Now, what I'm looking at is just the survivability, because guys are going to be punching down on me, of what this team can offer, that it's just not a walkover. Not with, like, they'd have to come with their top guns. And the hope is, because you get these ults, so you see Mephisto ults, but he would be ulting every other turn. And so it would just make them have to come in and be either, I guess, minion sack, or come in with something super strong, or they be coming in trying to see what they could get rid of with each sack. And so right there, when we saw Cap Sam go, we know he's going to get his ult every turn. So that's just going to speed this team up. Now, there's a conflict when you look at the Scientist Supreme putting out the slows, but at the end of the day, it's just back to her turn. And then there's a heal. So I'm trying to see what the sustain would be like, and that's really what it's about. And I just wanted to go there so you guys can see the ult, because the ult will be every turn. I don't think it's worth me taking him to a 3 diamond. I've been back and forth about that because of where I'm at in the game. So I think a 2 is fine. Like, we'll go back to his stats real quick. And it's just not enough of an increase for what I need to do going forward when you look at where he's at. So, I mean, because I think his damage goes up to like 270, 275, and then his health goes up to 7 mil. And for what he's costing, which is like 11K, I don't think that's worth it. So that's kind of why the pause button is there. So let's go here. So room 2, I think, is kind of just like, hey, let's just see what's going to happen. Because I know the guys I'm going to go against, a lot of them will have this Phoenix Force on offense. So let's try them and see, because the idea behind it is that I got a Protector in there and Hercules, and since this is still, I think is it Mighty Avengers? Uncanny. I think it's Mighty Avengers. That makes Phoenix an Avenger. So she'll get some synergy from the fact that Falcon, they can't get a slow. Hercules is going to get a taunt because he's Protector from the Omega. And the whole idea of this is just to allow Omega to get his turn. So I'll show you how it goes. Now, there's some options on how guys can probably try to throw this off a bit. But the main thing is this team is still based on Odin and Omega. And you just got a big Phoenix in there, so maybe she can throw some things off. And if those two get going and the rest are alive, then it could be a problem. They may kill Hercules, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to make this to not be a one-shot in this room. So that's the idea behind it. So let's go over here, take a look at their kits real quick, then we'll throw them in DD9. The main thing that I saw, if it were to go according to plan, is that Odin does get an assist from Hercules. And so, you know, that sets him off. Now, it's a question mark whether because he gets his ult really fast with this, his special. So it's a question mark when you see this, would he get his special first or would he assist first? And it's not like Hercules is super fast, so a team could come in there and maybe throw things off with Hercules. But at the end of the day, the idea behind this is, and we'll get to Omega, is that Hercules and Phoenix, they're both going to get 2 turns of taunts. So that's the hope to get this team going. And so, of course, you guys seen this over and over again with a special. And once we get to that, then it kind of leans toward this, whatever they went in with, a high probability of it being a sack team. And then they'd have to come back in with something else. And the something else would be, did they pull Odin's ult on the first turn or second turn? But my hope is that the way this team is constructed, it'd be really hard to get a one-shot. And so now that this is going to read like, you know, Hercules and Falcon, she's giving them defense up. Let's see here. She's going to give them some more damage, some more health. I don't have any of her Wakens. I don't know if we can get them yet. Yeah. But the main thing here is she would get this first. Now, I don't remember if this used to be the first move back when. I don't think it was. I think it was just a special. But clear the negative effects if she gets to go. If she doesn't, if they kill her, she comes back with a special, which she's going to be kind of tanky, kind of hard to heal. Either way, she gets a special. She's got the health still in there. I think on this one it's 25%. On the other one it's 20%. So it just gives this team a chance to have some sustain. If they were brought low, she could help bring them back a bit. She's at 11 mil health. She does have some damage, so she can hit pretty hard. So hopefully that'll help out. I think the key with Falcon is not so much. The main thing for Falcon is why I put him in here is this part here. Before this character takes a turn, this character and Almighty Avengers and Uncanny Avenger allies cannot gain slow. Because I think there's a question mark on what they're going with, if this ult will even hit. And he's not super tanky, so we don't know for sure that he can get to a special. The hope is that Phoenix will give him some health so that he can get to a special. So we'll see how that plays out. And then that might help get the team going a bit. But the key guy, of course, is Omega. We don't really know what he's going to do. I didn't know that they had changed his special because I just really looked at his kit yesterday. But this is all about his special. And so you see here, in Crucible, reduce duration of positive effects. He can chain up to 4 enemies. He's going to give ability block, trauma, bleed. He clears all negative effects on himself and Phoenix. And so he fills the speed bar of Phoenix by 50% when he does his special. He's going to get 1,000% focus, and this attack is unavoidable. So that's the key right there, is that because it's unavoidable, I think this just gives this team a chance to get going. And we'll see, because I'm sure the guys I'm going against are going to have like 7 red Omegas, so they may just go in with that and be able to counter it. I don't know. The idea is just to try to make this room a little bit tougher so that they have to really try to do something with it. Because I think the defenses that I had before, they're going to easy walk over it. And then so you see the Illuminati with Sasquatch, and that's mostly because this team can still be tricky to beat. I think the room rules here because of the barrier. So they gain 50% max barrier on spawn. They bury themselves for 100% of the character's max health. And so that's the reason to have Black Bolt in there, because he's going to get his whole lineup 50% more health. So that just helps with the barrier. Sasquatch, I believe, clears barrier with his ult and his special. So if he's tankier, he might actually get a chance to go. There he is. Right, so let's see. That's the taunt, stealth, regeneration, apply offense down, 2 turns, prolonged duration. What? Oh yeah, clear all barrier on all enemies, and yeah, clear barrier on all enemies. So we'll just see if this works out, just to kind of make them have to hit it more than once. That's the idea. And so let me go back to Dark Dimension, and we'll see if we can run this other team, just so you guys can see how it plays out. And so we'll just see how this goes. But the main thing that you look from this is not to see if they can put in damage in Dark Dimension, because this would not be a Dark Dimension lineup. It's just so you can see the turn order, because this is not for CC. This is not a particularly fast team, so you need them to have either some type of way to heal themselves or be strong enough to take the hits. So your key tunes in here, which is Odin and Omega, which we haven't really seen in action yet, if they can get a chance to go. So yeah, so Odin gets his special turn 1. So this is going to be interesting to see if this happens in the game. I'm not quite sure what's making that happen. So let's see here. And so these where I'm at in this part of Dark Dimension, this is not super fast tunes. So you see Hercules got a chance to go. Odin gets the assist. Then Falcon goes. Now it could be that what guys bring in, they shut that down. It changes up the turn order. But the main thing is that you see when Omega goes, and so he goes 4th. That's the key thing that I'm looking at. And then, you know, we want to see if Phoenix speeds up, because she's supposed to get 50% more speed. And so this is where we need Phoenix to really get her special, because you see Omega, he's already getting low. Falcon about to die. But once again, this team is more about Odin and Omega. So now Odin gets his ult, and I'm not sure if that means that this was a okay, where's Phoenix? Okay, there she is. If this means they have to come back, now I guess the health steal, that's kind of late. So I don't know if this would all happen in the first attack or some of this would happen in the second attack, but you know, it's just to give you guys a look to see what it would look like in the turn order, because the team base is gonna be kind of slow compared to what most guys are gonna take in there. All right, let's see who's on. The Real Dub, I don't know who that is. We might send you guys over there. He's Marvel Strike Force. Yeah, I think the Real Dub. I don't see anybody else's Marvel Strike Force on there. Oh, wait a minute. Walking Hate. We go to Walking Hate, man. He's been on for 3 hours, though. He might be ending soon. Yeah, he might be ending soon. He's been on longer than me. Let's go to this other guy.